Hello everyone, it is time for a new video, and today I'm going to be talking about my audiobook TBR. But first, before we get into it, a little bit of context, some exciting news. I have already been like vlogging about it a little bit, but this might be like the first video you see before all those vlogs. I'm not completely sure, but I'm going to be moving. I am starting to move, and I think this will be the last like full video that I film in front of these shelves. And I'm gonna have new beautiful shelves, and I'm gonna film all of that, of course. And you know, I'm very excited, but I am also like a little bit emotional. Of course, it's a very overwhelming time. And I'm a very sentimental person, and so yeah, I think this will be the last full video. Because my mom is basically coming over to help me move, and she's coming after tomorrow, and there's just like a lot happening. And like, while I will probably film some b-roll and stuff when she's here, I'm not gonna be like filming full videos, you know. We will not have much time because I have work and like it's all very chaotic, you know. But we are gonna chill today and talk about some exciting books that I want to read. And you know, this was like the first idea that popped into my head because obviously I'm gonna be like running around doing a lot of cleaning and all that stuff, and so audiobooks are like the easiest way for me to read at this time, and so that's why I thought it'd be fun. And I've also been in an audiobook slump for a while. I've mentioned it in some of my vlogs that like I just have not been in the right like brain space. You know, like I have not been able to focus. I have not been able to find like the right audiobooks for me, and I'm hoping this will help with that as well. And yeah, so I'm very excited, but that is that update. Again, I'm of course going to talk about it in the vlogs a little bit more in detail and stuff like that. So yeah, let's talk about the audiobooks. I don't have a plan for this. We're just going to take it as it goes. The first thing I have to mention is the one that I'm currently reading. I just started it this evening and I'm really enjoying it, and that is The Starter X by Mia Sosa. And I have read Mia Sosa's books before. But it's been a while and I did really enjoy them, and so like I've been wanting to read this for a long time, and I'm really enjoying the audiobook itself and the book, the story. So we have our heroine who basically has this like not necessarily a job but like a side hustle or whatever where she like pretends to date her friends' crushes and like does a very bad job at it, like basically like makes a fool out of herself a little bit, kind of like, you know, what's the, oh my gosh, how to lose a, kind of like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days vibes. But the plan is that, you know, like her friend that has a crush on the guy is gonna then like meet him, and she's gonna seem like an angel compared to the heroine, whose name is Vanessa. So that is the vibe, and I can't tell you much more than that because I literally just started it, but so far the vibes are just really fun, lighthearted, and I can't wait to see how it goes because basically she's gonna like do this concept with her friend's crush, and then obviously they're gonna fall in love. So like a little bit of like a forbidden aspect, like obviously, you know, she doesn't want to lose her friend. She's like literally like lying to this guy, and I don't necessarily like the like secret identity, or just like if there's a secret or like some kind of lie, betrayal stuff. I don't love that, but I don't know, the vibe of this is so good. And again, I love Mia Sosa's books, and so I'm sure I'm gonna love this, and I'm sure it's gonna be like fine, and it's more on the shorter side of audiobooks, and so I really want that as well. And also I listen to audiobooks actually mainly on Everand. These are gonna be like a few from Audible, which I generally never listen to. But I got a free trial. That's like the only way that I ever listen to Audible. And so like that's a few that I have from there, and then I'm gonna talk about the ones that I have on Everend. And you know, because my free trial is ending really soon, that's why I started with this. Yes. So next one I want to mention is Love at First Sight by Cara Bastone, and this is gonna be a reread for me. And I absolutely adore Cara Bastone. Like her audiobooks and generally books, but especially her audiobooks, are like the best audiobooks I've ever listened to in my life. I don't know, actually I think all of them are like, they have a full cast and sound effects. And so it's such an immersive experience, and I love her characters, I love the stories, every single thing about it is absolutely perfect. And this one, I don't remember anything about it. And when I realized that, I was like, shit, okay, yeah, it is time to reread this, because I read it a long time ago, and She has a lot of audiobooks, at least like 5, 6. And so, yeah, I want to read it again and we will see what it was about. Next one is Paladins. I am very cute. I don't know. Whatever. Grace, that word, and Grace by T. Kingfisher. I have been wanting to read T. Kingfisher for literally years. I've heard so many people talk about this book and other books by T. Kingfisher, and I still have not read them. And I am like, partially I had a feeling that I would love it. Partially I was just like very scared, which is like sums up my whole fantasy reading experience the past 2 years. Because I've just like, I love the genre, but I was disappointed so many times that I was like, okay, I'm just gonna give up. And like, I don't want to do that anymore. But also like, you know, yeah. But the only thing that I've run into is that like, I don't know if like, I don't think getting out of my fantasy slump is gonna happen through audiobooks. I actually think I need to read them physically. But like, I can't read all of them physically, you know? So like, I don't know, whatever. This one is on there, and I will maybe read it. And so let's move on to... Actually, before I go to Everand, which is going to be my main thing, I'm going to go to Libro FM, which actually is something I do want to mention, because if you don't know about like all these apps and whatever, Libro FM is really cool. It supports libraries. I don't remember the exact details, but it does support libraries and like independent bookstores or something like that. I don't know. And it is very similar to Audible. I think the prices are the same. I don't pay for it. I don't do that because I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just in my head or whatever. I do think this is mainly in the US, but I have the app and I am part of like the ALC program, where I get like advanced copies of audiobooks, you know, like in the influencer program or whatever. And so like that's how I get it. You know, I don't have like a membership, if that makes sense. But I highly recommend you check it out if that's something that you're interested in. Again, it's definitely not available everywhere, but if it's, you know. So there are a few things that I have here that I've been wanting to read for 1,000 years. So one of them is Puck and Prejudice by Leah Riley. This one sounds just really fun, like silly, lighthearted vibes, you know? And so this says that it is a sizzling marriage of convenience between a pro hockey player who accidentally travels back in time to Regency era England and the brazen contemporary of Jane Austen he just can't help but fall for. And sounds super fun. I'm not like a giant Pride and Prejudice fan. It's not that I wouldn't like it, but I never like... Growing up, I didn't have like a super strong nostalgic connection to it. However, it's still a story that I enjoy and this sounds super fun, and I feel like I do prefer the like traveling back in time over traveling into the future. And it's a concept that like takes a lot to work well, but I think if it works well, it's really great, if that makes sense. And so I would love to check this out. And another one I want to read is Love in Bloom by Lucy Eden. So this one I think is like a small town romance, and it says that it is for fans of B.K. Borison and Sarah Adams comes a cheeky small town romantic comedy about finding herself in the weeds only to find love too. And I've read like novellas by Lucy Eden before and really enjoyed those, and so I'm excited for this. It looks adorable. And so yeah, so let's move on to Everand. This one is like... There's nothing better than this. It has its issues, but I just will forever recommend this, and I will forever believe, unless things change, that this is the best audiobook service. Not sponsored, I wish. This used to be called Scribd, then they kind of like slightly changed it, rebranded it, but it's still the same, and still mostly the same in my opinion. I've been using this stuff for literally years, and so now it's called Everand for the audiobooks, and there's like the Scribd part is only for like newspapers or something. I don't know, because I don't use that, but it's like interconnected if you have the membership anyways. And this will just... I know. So basically, just a very quick summary, you know, for anyone that is interested in audiobooks, doesn't know where to start, you know, I will have timestamps, so if you don't care about this, skip ahead to the actual books. But Everand, I think has the biggest selection, and you can listen to the most things on there. I am very sure. So, you know, Audible or even Libro FM, I think gives you the one title, and then Audible has like the Plus catalog where you have those, like you have access to those, and there is like quite a lot of that, but it's definitely far from everything. And Libro FM, I'm not entirely sure, but I think mainly you like pay for the title. And I'm sure there's like a lot of discounts and stuff like that, but not actually included in the membership. But Everand, there's basically everything. The only catch is that it starts to limit the titles after you have listened. But again, I've had it for years, and I don't know, because it is basically based on like how popular and recent the release is. The more popular, the more faster is gonna like limit it. But every single month I listen to like at least like 5, 6 things. Honestly, could even be 10, you know, like if I'm not in my audiobook slump. Like there has never ever been a time that I didn't have access to anything. So it limited some of that, but never all of it. And like I listen, and there is ebooks as well, which you do not get on any of the others. And so yes, it limits a little bit. Did it used to be very transparent about it? Then I think like they did a little bit, but I don't understand, because it's still better than anything else, you know? So it makes sense, because audiobooks are expensive, and so I understand. And yeah, so that is the summary. Highly, highly recommend you check it out. It has almost everything. Audible is like the leader that like has actually all the audiobooks available, honestly, I feel like, but there's just a tiny percentage that isn't on Everand. Like most books that I look for are on there. And so like if you listen to audiobooks, I think it 100% is the best option. And you can do a free trial, of course. So definitely try that. Again, not sponsored. I just like Everand, like Scribd/Everand has changed my reading life. It is incredibly valuable to me, and like I have like, it literally has allowed me to read so many things. It's allowed me to read like, you know, new releases that I would not otherwise be able to read, that, you know, either I couldn't afford buying all of them, or they wouldn't be available at the bookstores, or whatever it might be. It's incredible. So let's talk about the actual books. First one I have there is Skin by Ibiza Boy. This is the next one that I want to read, and it's only 6 hours long, and it looks so cool. First of all, I'm obsessed with this cover. Second of all, it sounds super cool. So it is a novel in verse, and it is a contemporary fantasy, and is described as a novel in verse based on Caribbean folklore about the power of inherited magic and the price we must pay to live the life we yearn for. And so I've literally never read anything like that. You know, I have read books written in verse, never a fantasy book though. And I mean, like, I guess contemporary fantasy means like urban fantasy, you know, like set in our world, but with like magical elements. But it sounds amazing. And I think it's like, it's either like about like sister relationship or friendship or something like that. Like it has 2 female main characters like at its center. And I've been really craving like more books that center around relationships that are not romance, because obviously I read romance so much and like I love it more than anything in the world, but also like I've been watching a few movies that center around friendships, and I was reminded like how much I love it, you know? And so I absolutely love that. And I think this is gonna be magical and wonderful, and I can't wait to read it, just because it looks really interesting as well. And I think like a novel in verse is perfect for me to focus on right now as well, because it's just a little bit like easier to process. But yeah, so that is one I will be diving into super soon. Next one I have here is Go Luck Yourself by Sarah Ratch. And I read the first book by this author, Nightmare Before Christmas, and that was super fun. And so it's basically kind of like a paranormal romance, where it follows characters that like have magical powers that come from like holidays. So that one was like the Prince of Christmas and the Prince of Halloween. This one is the other Prince of Christmas and the Prince of St. Patrick's Day. And yeah, so it's just like fun, super lighthearted rom-coms, you know, with a little bit of magic and yeah, centering around holidays. And it's just a really good time. And so I'm sure This will be entertaining and fun and a little bit different as well. And then I really want to read Mickey Chambers' Shakes It Up by Cherish Reed. I have read a book by Cherish Reed before that I really enjoyed, and this came out a while ago at this point, and the cover is adorable, and I just really want to read this. It's also a bit of a shorter audiobook, and there's just one line at the start that says total opposites, totally irresistible. It says that the heroine is good at analyzing modern literature, but terrible at figuring out her own story. She meets a grumpy bar owner. It says she has too many medical bills courtesy of her chronic illness, and she picks up a bartending gig where she meets a gorgeous grumpy bar owner. This sounds super fun, super cute, and if this is set like around a bar, I actually really like that as well, because I actually work in the like service industry or whatever the hell we want to call that, and like I think it would be cathartic to read something that centers around that I can relate to in those ways. And I just think it's gonna be a wonderful fun romance, you know, and we want that, we need that. Then I have a 5-letter word for love by Amy James. This is a very recent release and it looks super fun, very interesting. And the first line is a heartwarming and humorous romance in which an unlikely couple fall in love over Wordle. So I have no idea how that can work, but I'm very intrigued. And, you know, I only played Wordle like the first 2 weeks that it went super viral. So I don't really care about it, but I think it could be interesting. And if it has like some kind of like online aspect, I love that kind of stuff. So the next book I have here is A Bun Me for Two by Trinity Nguyen. This is adorable. I love this cover so much, like all the pink, and it's so cute. And this is a YA contemporary romance, and I have not been reading those enough. And honestly, I do think that's a genre that like I really enjoy listening to audiobooks. And it's just like so easy, so fun, you know? And this is a sapphic romance about two foodies in love. And it says that Vivi meets Lan while studying abroad in Vietnam, and they spend the semester unraveling their family's histories. Sounds super cute, and I definitely want to read this ASAP, and so that will be happening. The next book is Wild Sweet Love by Beverly Jenkins. I have not read a book by Beverly Jenkins in way too long, and she has an enormous backlist. It says that Teresa July has led a hard life, but now she has a chance to put her train robbing past behind her. She gets a new job as a cook, and it says that nothing is going to stand in her way, not even her boss's stuck-up and far too handsome son. And the last sentence is, when a woman from Madison's past threatens Teresa's future, the two reluctant lovers must join forces if they're ever going to have a chance at happiness. So, again, I love Beverly Jenkins. I don't need to know any more things, and I'll be reading this. Another book that I have here is Sleeping with the Frenemy by Natalie Kanya, and this is also a quite recent release, I think, and I read, I think, the first book of this series, and I really enjoyed it. It was just a super fun, easy to read romance, and this one is a second chance love story about repairing community and romantic connection. Okay, that sounds amazing. So this is, ooh, okay, self-assured firefighter trying to reignite the embers of a love gone cold. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. I am one of those people, honestly, like, I do understand I do get the concept of, you know, like, firefighters being hot and whatever. And like, yeah, so that is a great motivator, and I love Second Chance, and I, again, enjoyed a book by this author before, and I really like this cover, so that's all I need, and I think I'm gonna wrap it up soon. So I actually have another book by Cherish Reed, which is Jewel Me Twice, and this is described as a steamy heist thrill ride I never wanted to end. Okay, this is a blurb by Regina Black. And it also says, the combustive chemistry between Celeste and Magnus kept me turning the pages of this witty second chance love story. Ooh, okay. Another second chance. And the actual description is, two career thieves reunite for one last job and must put their messy romantic past behind them to pull off the jewel heist of the century in this scorching action-packed romance. And so again, the same thing that I keep coming back to is that I want to read more genres, and especially even just subgenres of romance, Because, like, I have been stuck reading only contemporary romance and I love it, but I need more than that, you know? And so this is obviously contemporary, but like with action, and it's just, I do absolutely love like action movies with amazing romances, you know? And so this sounds super cool and super fun. Okay, and I think I'm gonna wrap it up because we've been here for a while and there is like so many more that I have. I really want to read Finally Seen by Kelly Young. I was about to say that I've read by this author before, but I think I never actually read. I actually don't think I have. I've just wanted to for a long time. And she is most known for the book Front Desk, but this is a different series, I think. But they're both of those are middle grade, and so this one is a middle grade novel about a young girl who leaves China to live with her parents and sister after 5 years apart and learns about family friendship and the power of finally being seen. And like the main things that I've heard about this author is just, you know, that like her stories are super meaningful and human and realistic and emotional and beautiful. And I want that. And you know, I actually had an era a while ago where I was reading a lot of middle grade and like I really found such amazing books that felt like they touched me so deeply, and I don't think a lot of people realize. And like, I mean, I would never think that, you know, but like there are some incredible authors out there that write middle grade stories in a way that can resonate with adults as much as with children, you know, because the concept of like both movies and books that are middle grade is that you want it to appeal both to adults and to children, because a lot of the time, you know, an adult is either gonna watch it with a child or read it with a child, you know, and so like there's like often that crossover, and I feel like it just like works so well. And I don't know, with someone like, as someone who does not like to read super painful books, I feel like middle grade is such a great way to process painful emotions because it's written in a way that has so much hope in it as well. Even if it deals with something difficult, there's just like this comforting side to it. And I just absolutely love that. So I think I'm gonna love this. And again, I want to read more things, widen my horizons. And so we're gonna do that. So again, yeah, I could talk for hours. And yeah, but I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna go to bed, and I will talk to you very soon. But yeah, expect a lot of like moving content, especially like setting up my new apartment. And I am hopefully gonna get like bookshelves that I'm gonna buy that like are doing my own. And so I will miss these a lot. You know, like one of the things that I loved so much when I found this apartment was that there were built-in bookshelves in the walls. And it actually happens often here, but not in the apartment that I found. But it's okay because I love it in many other ways, and I really love the living room there. And so I'm actually gonna film in the living room more because I don't know if anyone notices these things, but I'm basically just in my room when I'm here, and I have been for the past long time. And so there's gonna be so much more exciting, like, you know, backgrounds and things happening. And I'm feeling really, really good about life. And so I'm hoping that's gonna show in my content and that you're all gonna enjoy watching that. But please let me know what like sort of videos you would like to see related to the moving or even unrelated to that. And if you made it this far, leave any kind of like house emoji down below. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'm gonna see you soon in another video. Bye!